What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Becca. If you are new, I'm so glad you're here. Today I'm sharing my top 5 tips for Disney World first-timers. I do have my Disneyland version of this video. If you want to check that out, I will have that linked for you. But I have to be honest, when I was brainstorming this video and coming up with the tips I was going to share, my list was getting very long. I mean, I could sit here and share my top 100 tips for Disney beginners, but let's be real, that is so overwhelming. So I thought, okay, slow down, Becca. How can you condense this to be a little more bite-sized? And what are the 5 things that I would share with somebody that I think are the most important things to know when it comes to planning your very first Disney vacation? So that is what these 5 things are. So I hope this is helpful, and go ahead and hit that red subscribe button if you want to stick around for more Disney planning content and tips, and make sure to give this video a thumbs up as well, and let's get started. Tip number 1 is to download the My Disney Experience app. This app is going to be your lifeline at the Disney parks, and it's going to make your park day so much more enjoyable because you'll have access to all of the necessary features that you need for a successful park day. Not only can you manage all of your reservations directly from the app, but this is also where you're going to access Genie Plus, which is the pay to skip the line feature that Disney offers. So all of those Lightning Lane reservations are going to happen directly on the app. You're also going to be able to place mobile orders at any quick service locations on the app, as well as mobile checkout at gift shops. The app also acts as your park map and really park guide in a sense. So not only can you get directions from point A to point B if you're not sure where to go from one end of the park to another to where your next attraction is, but it's also going to give you accurate wait times for each of the attractions, as well as show times. Really anything you need to know scheduling wise is going to be on the app as well. Park hours, anything in that arena can be found on the app. It's also a great resource if you need to know where the nearest restroom is, or where the baby care center is located, or where guest services is. So it really is your park guide and has everything you need for a successful day at Disney. I also recommend downloading the app before you get to Disney. So don't wait until the morning of to get this app all set up. Download it at home. That way you have time to kind of play around with it and get familiar with some of the features, where things are located, and you can even get familiar with the parks before you get there. So you can kind of envision the route you're gonna take, where you walk in, where your favorite attraction is located, things like that. So make sure you have this downloaded before you get to Disney. Tip number 2 is to stay at a Disney World resort for a couple of different reasons. So the first reason I recommend staying at a Disney hotel, especially if it is your first Disney vacation, is to be fully immersed in the Disney magic, the Disney feel. You just can't explain it until you've experienced it for yourself. But if this is your first Disney vacation, staying in the Disney bubble is probably the best way to get the full Disney experience. There is just something so special about those resorts, and again, I can't explain it. You just have to experience it. So the next reason I recommend staying at a Disney World resort is for the transportation perks. So Disney offers free transportation to Disney Springs and all of the parks if you're staying at a Disney World hotel. And it is really nice to not have to think about how you're gonna get to Magic Kingdom at 7:30 in the morning. Whether your resort offers boat transportation, you're on the monorail, the Skyliner, buses, whatever the transportation offering is, it's so nice to not have to think about it. You just get on the boat, get on the bus, and Disney takes you to your destination. And you're not having to fumble around looking for directions or loading everyone up in a car, trying to figure out where to go, where to park, where to get in. You just get on the bus, get on the boat, you hop on the monorail, and it's so easy. And it's also an added bonus to not have to think about car rentals or anything like that if you are flying in from out of state. It's just really nice that Disney offers that transportation, and I highly recommend taking advantage of it if this is your first Disney vacation. All right, and tagging off of that, tip number 3 is to have an understanding of how large Disney World property actually is. So Disney World is about 25,000 acres, making it about 39 square miles and roughly the size of San Francisco. So if that gives you any indication as to how large Disney property is, crazy. So with that comes having the right expectations with travel time from getting to point A to point B. If you're familiar with Disneyland, then you know that California Adventure and Disneyland are just a hop, skip, and a jump away. You could get from one park to another in the matter of 30 seconds. But that is just not the case at Disney World. It's important to know that getting from one park to another or park to a resort could take you anywhere from 30 minutes to 90 minutes. I mean, depending on where you're going for many, many reasons, but factor in that additional transportation time because I promise it will take longer than what you're thinking. And the worst thing in the world is to be late to a reservation and you're scrambling, you're in a frenzy. No one wants that kind of stress on their Disney park day. So just factor in that extra travel time. It's gonna make your day just feel a little more relaxed and laid back. So plan for the travel time and know that it's gonna take you way longer at Disney World to get from point A to point B than it will at Disneyland. Tip number 4 is to make sure that you check park availability before you purchase your tickets. Right now, Disney is requiring that you have a park reservation in addition to your park ticket. So having a park ticket alone does not guarantee entry into that park. I know that sounds crazy, but it just takes an additional 30 seconds to book that park reservation. It's so easy. It automatically links up with your tickets and your account, so it's not complicated. It just takes an extra minute when you are purchasing your tickets. But one really important thing is to check the availability before you buy your tickets. Nothing is worse than having this whole vacation plan. You have booked your resort, you've purchased your flights, you've told your whole family, and then you go to buy the tickets and there's no availability at any of the parks, or Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios are all booked up. So now all you're able to do is Epcot and Animal Kingdom, and you really had your heart set on one of the attractions at Hollywood, you know. So make sure you check park availability before you buy your tickets and make those park reservations as far out as possible just to guarantee that you get the parks that you want for each day of your vacation, or even if it's just one Magic Kingdom day, lock it in as soon as possible. And I know it goes without saying, but holidays are going to be the first to book up. So if you're looking to go around spring break, Thanksgiving, Christmas time, you know, New Year's, really any time in December, get those park reservations, get those tickets as soon as possible. If you're able to let that be one of the first things you book for your vacation, do it just to lock it in. Do it months in advance if you're able to. I'm not even kidding. So those park reservations fill up really quick. And again, Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom are usually the first to go. So snag those first is what I would recommend, but make those reservations as soon as possible. That way you don't show up to the park with your tickets and your family ready to go, but you forgot the reservation and then they're full for the day and you're turned away at the main gate. So nothing is worse, but make those reservations and book them early. And tip number 5 is to prepare for park security. I think this topic is overlooked for Disney World first-timers. It's easy to just not think about it or not be aware that you weren't allowed to bring something into the parks. So I'll have the website linked down below that lists out everything you can and cannot bring into the parks. For instance, you can't bring stroller wagons. Your stroller has to fit within certain dimensions. So make sure if you are pushing a stroller, specifically a double stroller, that you know what those dimensions are and that your stroller fits in those requirements. Folding chairs are not allowed, even if they're the really small portable ones. You are not able to bring glass bottles or glass containers. You are not allowed to bring alcoholic beverages into the parks. Even if it's packed in a cooler, no outside alcohol is allowed into the park. So those are just a few things that you are not able to bring. Again, I'll have that link with that full list of what you can and can't bring with you down below, but it's definitely helpful to read through it and be prepared for those security checks. That way you're not taken by surprise when the security guard has to confiscate something or makes you aware that you have to trek all the way back to your car to put something away because you can't bring it into the parks with you, and you know, all the things that go with it. So be prepared, do just a little bit of research and read through that list. That way you can plan and pack for your park day accordingly. All right, those are my top 5 tips for Disney World first timers. Again, I could have shared so much more in this video, but I didn't want it to feel overwhelming, and I wanted to condense this down into 5 things that I think are the most important to know, the most crucial things to be prepared for when it comes to planning your very first Disney vacation. So I would love for you to stick around and hit that red subscribe button if you are looking for even more Disney planning advice, tips, tricks. I'll have my Disney planning playlist of videos linked down below if you want to just dive in. I have so much Disney planning content, you guys, so much. So head on down in the description box and check out some of those videos, and make sure to give this video a thumbs up as well. I hope this was helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.